You've probably been hunting for a desktop that slips onto a desk without stealing the whole surface, yet still feels like a workstation you can trust to run spreadsheets, video calls, and the occasional game without hiccups. You want something that fits into a cramped office, won't make you question every upgrade, and actually just works for the price you're paying. That hesitation, wondering whether you're buying a glorified stick or a real computer, can turn a simple purchase into a gamble. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The ASUS NUC 15 Pro tries to settle that debate by marrying a tiny chassis with the newest Intel Series 2 Core U processor, a full 16GB of DDR5 memory, and a fast PCIe SSD. It's the kind of spec sheet that reads like a mini PC version of a high-end laptop, but the real question is how it behaves once you plug it into a 27-inch monitor and start using it day after day. First off, let's talk about the kind of environment where this little box shines. If you're a remote worker who spends most of the day in Zoom, Slack and a handful of browser tabs, the NUC's Wi-Fi 7 connectivity gives you a buttery smooth link to the internet, even when you're on a congested network. The built-in Bluetooth is handy for connecting a headset or a wireless mouse without needing a dongle that sticks out of a crowded USB hub. When I set one up on a standing desk, the whole thing sat in the corner of the desk, and the only cables I needed were a power brick, a Thunderbolt 4 cable to the monitor, and a single Ethernet line for that extra secure office network. The whole setup took less than 10 minutes, which is a big win for anyone who hates fiddling with tangled cords. Now, the real-world power part. The Core Ultra 7 255H is a low-power chip, but it's built on a 7nm process that lets it punch well above its wattage. In practice, I was able to run multiple Office applications, a couple of Chrome windows with dozens of tabs, and a background Photoshop session without the system throttling. When I opened a lightweight indie game just to test the Intel Arc 140T GPU, I noticed a modest, but perfectly acceptable frame rate at 1080p. It's not a machine you'd take to a competitive esport arena, but for a coffee break gaming session, or a quick visualization in a CAD program, the graphics are surprisingly decent for a device that fits in the palm of your hand. One of the biggest draws for many buyers is the claim of 8K HDR display support. In reality, most of us aren't hooking a mini PC up to an 8K TV just yet, but the ability to drive a quad 4K monitor means future-proofing if you ever upgrade your workspace. When I connected the NUC to a 4K Dell monitor, the desktop scaled crisply, and the colors looked vibrant thanks to the AI-accelerated Arc graphics. If you're a content creator who edits 4K video, you'll appreciate that the NUC can handle a 30-minute timeline without stuttering, provided you keep the codec and effects modest. It's a subtle, but genuine, edge over older mini PCs that only support 1080p. Storage and memory are where the NUC really feels flexible. The 512GB PCIe SSD boots Windows 11 Pro in under 10 seconds, and loading large PowerPoint decks or Excel files feels instantaneous. The tool-free memory slot means you can pop in another 16GB stick later if you find yourself juggling heavy datasets. That upgrade path is a practical advantage over some competing mini PCs that lock you into a soldered RAM configuration. The downside? The SSD is fixed in place, there's no second drive bay, so if you need more than a ½ TB for media libraries, you'll have to rely on external storage, which can be a minor inconvenience for a workstation that's otherwise so self-contained. Security is another area where the NUC tries to earn your trust. With Windows 11 Pro you get BitLocker and support for TPM 2.0 right out of the box, which is something IT departments look for when rolling out machines to a small office. The chassis itself is solid steel with a matte finish, and the tool-free access panel means you can replace the SSD or add RAM without a screwdriver, a small detail that saves time during an upgrade cycle. So, who should actually consider buying this thing? If you're a freelancer, a small business employee, or a student who needs a capable machine that won't dominate a desk, the NUC 15 Pro fits the bill nicely. It's also a good option for a home office that needs a discrete PC for video conferencing, light design work, and occasional gaming. The combination of Wi-Fi 7, Thunderbolt 4, and a modern CPU means you won't feel dated in a couple of years, and the upgrade-friendly memory slot adds a safety net for future needs. On the flip side, there are clear cases to skip it. If you're a serious gamer who wants high frame rates at 1440p or 4K, the integrated ARC GPU will feel limiting, especially compared to a dedicated RTX card. Likewise, if you're